The stimulus package has officially been approved inside of the Senate. Hey everyone, how's it going today? And welcome back to another third stimulus check unemployment benefits extension update. So as we just mentioned, is that the really great news to share is that as of basically, well, an hour from when I'm filming this, but probably maybe several hours from upload date, or when you guys are watching this, but the idea is that the stimulus package, the third stimulus package in its entirety, from the stimulus checks, the unemployment benefits extension, the boost, the PUA, the PUC, and a whole bunch of different programs has officially been approved inside of the Senate as of Saturday I think they said it was 12:30 p.m. Eastern time. So that is a really great news that I do want to share in today's update. Now I'm going to be making another video to explore all of the different parts of the package and really break it down. But in today's update, I really just wanted to share with you guys this really great news. And I also want to maybe just really quickly touch up about what really comes next, what to expect as we roll over into the next couple of days as the intensity really starts to increase. But at least the great news is that we can hopefully have more reasons to at least try to breathe down a little bit, or if we're not, at least it's out of excitement or something like that. So we're gonna just talk all about that in today's update, hopefully a relatively sweet update. But before we begin, make sure you smash the like button as always in light of this really great news, especially in particular in today's update, now that we truly do have it now officially approved in probably the hardest place to be approved, which is basically the Senate. Consider subscribing and hitting the bell notification button if you guys are brand new here and interested in getting updates on stimulus, unemployment, all sorts of other kinds of government programs and different kinds of parts of the package and other finance topics. And feel free to comment any questions, thoughts about honestly just really anything at all, because I think it is crazy to think. But the crazy thing is that it has now officially been approved inside of the Senate. So we're just going to get started right on the spot. So to maybe just start with a really quick story about how the last several, few days went. The general idea is that they did end up going through their very long 600-page reading that you guys probably know if you guys have been following from the last couple of updates. Consider subscribing if you guys haven't done so already. But they went through the entire reading. The Votorama session was yesterday, basically early. I think it started at right around about 9 a.m. in the morning. It lasted for more than 24 hours. That is the crazy thing. Now, I don't believe that they probably just sat at their tables and for 24 hours straight. I think the general idea is that supposedly they basically sit in there. It's definitely long. They sit in there for many hours. Then what they do is they do take breaks. I would not be shocked, honestly, if they end up taking naps in between or just relaxing or doing something. But the idea is that they were inside of the building, they were inside of the Senate floor, and they were basically debating for about 24 hours, not including, of course, the breaks and nap time that they probably had in the middle. But as of basically about 12:30 p.m. they finally worked out their differences. Now, there were things that were changed. We're probably going to have to talk about that and explore that in a future update, because I really want to break it down. But the general idea is that thankfully most of the stuff from the last episode that we talked about in yesterday's episode, feel free to check that out. I think it's literally just called Huge Changes, the Great News. Most of that stuff have basically stayed relatively similar. There was a few changes. We're going to touch up about that in another future update. But the general idea is that as of, I believe, about 12:30 p.m. Eastern time today, Saturday, or the day that you're watching this, but Saturday, March 6th, they have now officially signed and approved it into the Senate. They finally were able to get Joe Manchin on board to finally agree, including Kristen Sinema, because they were the ones that were kind of on the edge. I think the final results of the poll, if you guys are interested in knowing, is I believe in total 50 Democrats voted yes, so thankfully exactly enough to get approved, and then 49 Republicans voted no, and one of them just didn't even show up. The senator of Alaska. I don't think most people know him, but he didn't even show up anyway, so I guess we don't know the story about that. But the idea is that basically, as expected, none of the Republicans voted in favor, but thankfully all of the Democrats, including Joe Manchin and Kristen Sinema, have officially approved it inside of the Senate. Now, in terms of what really comes next is that at this time now, I believe, is that they're now going to be taking this stimulus package and now bringing it over into the House. Once they sit inside of the House, I believe that Pelosi has basically made word that she's hoping to officially have the entire thing approved, hopefully by Tuesday. Maybe give or take an extra day, maybe Wednesday if anything. But at this time, it looks like Tuesday is when they're hoping to approve it in the House. Then likely maybe the next 1 to 2 days inside of the president, so the White House's office, and they're hoping to finally have the entire package right on time signed, right when the unemployment benefits extension for every single person, especially if you are on PUA or PUC, is about to basically expire. Now, I'll quickly touch up in the next minute about maybe how the rollover process is going to work. But if you're interested in knowing what's actually physically inside of the package, we're probably going to explore that in another future update. So definitely consider subscribing if you haven't done so already and you're interested in that. But this is basically the very, very quick synopsis. Now, obviously, there's a lot of details beyond just that. For example, like how to physically get on it, how to actually qualify, all sorts of different details. So definitely maybe consider subscribing if you guys are interested in getting updates about that. But I believe that when it comes to the stimulus checks, they're hoping to send out and start their deliveries within 1 week of approval. So with the assumption, which thankfully now that we've basically officially now overcome the probably most difficult, the Boston chapter, basically the final battle of this entire stimulus package negotiations, the great news is that the rest of this is really just about going through the rest of the approval process, which is thankfully looking like it's going to be a smooth approval. I believe the general estimate is that they're hoping to send out the stimulus checks right around 1 week from when they hopefully approve it, which hopefully and thankfully looks like it's going to be a relatively smooth process now, smooth sail from basically going from here. They're hoping to send out the first round of payments, I believe, within about 1 week. So the general estimate is that with the assumption and hope, which it does definitely look very promising, of course, we just have to see what actually happens before they physically, happens. It's looking like they're probably going to send the checks maybe around either the 3rd week of March or around the very, very end of March. So basically the very last week of March. Now, when it comes to the unemployment benefits extension, I believe right now the general idea is that all of the states are going to be announcing their information. So the rollover process actually really, really depends on the state. What I do know is that I believe that most of the states are looking to do some kind of smooth rollover process. I do know recently in New Jersey, they have basically announced that it's probably going to be a smooth process. I think in New Jersey, they specifically announced to have every single person just stay still right now, which is a good thing. Thankfully, we can actually just, relax and better than the other side, but the idea is to really just sit still around, and it's looking to become a smooth approval. I think the assumption is, I don't know if New York has actually announced anything yet, but I believe that because New York and New Jersey often does things very similar to each other, maybe because they're so close to each other, I think the assumption is that it's probably going to be a smooth approval, a smooth rollover. But of course, we're probably going to have to wait through the next couple of days to hopefully finally confirm, and especially from the other states, because there's obviously 50 states out there. So definitely subscribe if you guys haven't gotten that, if you guys are interested in getting updates about that. But that's what I really wanted to share in basically today's update. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that. I think most people hopefully did enjoy that, because I think that's probably one of the best news that we probably could have gotten this entire week. So hopefully you guys enjoy that. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, stay safe, stay well. Thank you guys so much for the support, as always. Thank you also, huge thanks actually also to Georgia, because I think Georgia really was the state that made most of this possible. Because keep in mind is that if not for Georgia, Mitch McConnell would still be the majority leader, which thankfully he's now the minority leader. Schumer would still become the minority, which thank goodness he's now the majority leader. But I think even most above all is that the only reason everything was possible was because of the reconciliation bill. Really, that was what was really able to help save this, so we don't have to go through like the Republican everything that happened last year. Maybe comment if you guys have been here for a while now, because you guys probably know. But with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. Stay safe, stay well. Have a great rest of the weekend. Hopefully this is a reason to smile or get excited again. So with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. Stay safe, stay well, and hope to see you guys next time. Thank you guys so much again.